When I say everything is spying on you, I mean literally everything is spying on you. Your phone, your car, your TV, your computer, and even your eyeglasses.
I just fired 1,100 people who exposed what they were doing with the Ray-Ban footage on 6 days' notice. Quick context, if you purchased Meta smart glasses, the footage you recorded, everything you saw around you got sent to a contractor in Kenya called Sama. 1,100 workers doing 10-hour shifts, sitting there labeling what was on your camera so Meta's AI models could get better. Back in February, Swedish journalists started investigating this matter, and the workers told them what they were actually watching. People having intimacy, people in bathrooms, naked, kids, credit card numbers, you name it. And last month, Meta cut their entire contract. This week, the Kenyan company Sama just announced that they're firing all 1,100 of those people. Some of them said that they'd already been forced to sit on their desks doing nothing for weeks while security tightened around them after the reports started coming out. Meta says that Sama didn't meet our standards, and Sama says they consistently met all standards. Read between the two, and the truth is very simple. The workers who told the public what was actually happening all lost their job and were fired. Now there's a class action lawsuit in California against Meta, and the UK's data regulator also opened an investigation. Every single part of this story is true, and nobody at Meta has answered any of this yet. The lawsuit is moving, 2 regulators are investigating, 1,100 people lost their jobs, and I'll be tracking all of this. Follow me if you want to learn more, because Big Tech is hoping you forget by next week.
At this point, we all need to keep in mind that we're being watched, and we also have to keep in mind that a lot of us signed up for it.
I need your help, and we only have 45 days. This issue is not Democrat versus Republican or left versus right. This is the American people and our right to privacy versus the federal government. I have a paragraph here to read, so I stay short and to the point. The House of Representatives voted 235 to 191 to extend the government's warrantless surveillance powers under FISA Section 702. We'll talk about what that is in one moment. And both parties here are to blame. 42 Democrats crossed the aisle to hand the Trump administration sweeping spy powers, even as privacy advocates and civil liberties groups warned this program has already been used to surveil Black Lives Matter protesters, journalists, and members of Congress. Only 22 Republicans had the courage to vote against their own party's leadership, but we still need to call that out. That is a good thing. This is not a partisan issue. It is a constitutional one. And the reason why is because Section 702 allows the government to sweep up Americans' private communications without ever obtaining a warrant. That is in direct violation of the Fourth Amendment to the United States Constitution, searching without a warrant. The Senate must not let this stand. The House must not let this stand. They reconvene in 45 days to talk about this again. I need you to go sign this petition. Read it if you would like, but this is stating that we, the American people, are not going to stand for it. I outlined the whole issue in the description of the petition. How do you sign? You go to any of my social media bios, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Substack, it doesn't matter. They all have a Linktree link in them that will open up this page for you. Down below at the very top of the list is the Stop Illegal Surveillance petition. You click on that, you can sign it. You can sign it anonymously, or you can sign it with your name and information. It doesn't matter, whatever you want to do. My goal is to spread this far and wide, and there are over 500,000 of you that follow me here on TikTok and over 200,000 of you that follow me on Instagram. We need to make sure there are hundreds of thousands of signatures on this thing, because we, the people, are not going to stand for a government that is going to surveil us and keep tabs on us like we are in the novel 1984. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go look that up. 1984 by George Orwell. Enough is enough. This is an opportunity for you to act, even if it feels small, even if it doesn't feel worth it.
Even if you don't like it, where can you go? How can you run away when the technology is in the cars?
Come on! No!
Now imagine there was an emergency outside the truck, an accident, something terrible on the ranch with a chainsaw. And I jump in this truck, but the truck, it won't shift into drive. Why? Because the cameras and sensors inside this cab won't let it shift, because it detects my eyes are big, there's a lot of emotion, there's some panic, and it doesn't feel that I'm fit to drive. Now that's not science fiction, that is happening because Ford just filed the patents. Ford actually has a series of patents down at the U.S. Patent and Trade Office that deal with the sensors and cameras inside the cab of their truck. And if the sensors in that truck determine that you're not fit to drive, that truck will not actually shift from park to drive. Now, they already have a system called telematics, and that's where they can actually pull up cameras in real time inside the cab of their fleet vehicles. Now, they actually market this to insurance companies because the truth is, this is really about who owns the data and who owns the liability. Now, your name might actually be on the title of this truck, and you may have paid for it, but you don't own it. Now, Ford didn't file just one patent. They filed a stack of them, all within months of each other. Are you sitting down? Get this. This Ford technology patent doesn't just watch you. This one puts you in jail. Ford filed a patent, serial number 0104469, where the system takes your biometric data, your face, your iris, and your fingerprint, and it runs it through a criminal database in real time. While you're sitting in your own truck, think about what that means. You wake up one morning, you walk out to your driveway, you climb into a vehicle with your name on the title, on property with your name on the deed, and before you go anywhere, before you've done a single thing wrong, your truck is already running your face through a law enforcement database. Ford's own patent language describes this as potentially useful for police. They wrote that. Ford wrote that into the patent application. So the question isn't whether this technology can be abused. Ford already told you who it's for. You just didn't know that you were buying a cop car. Now I'm going to walk you through a few of these patents. Lip reading, cameras inside your cab, machine learning trained on lip movement datasets, cloud connected, your face processed somewhere you'll never see, stored as long as they want. Acoustic lip reading, if the cameras aren't enough, the system emits inaudible sound waves and reads the echoes bouncing off of your mouth. You can't see it, it's just happening. Biometrics, your face, fingerprint, iris, filed February 2024, and it was published August 2025. This one is assigned a serial number because it's real. Ad listening. This is scary. It monitors conversations between everyone in the cab. It serves targeted ads based on what you and others are talking about while you're driving. In Ford's words, maximum opportunity for ad-based monetization. No description of how that data is protected either. None. How about Ford Pro Telematics? Now, this one isn't a patent. This one is actually a product page. Right now, fleet managers can pull live in-cabin video feeds of drivers on their phones. Ford markets seatbelt compliance alerts with the explicit benefit of lowering insurance costs. They said it themselves. This is the infrastructure, and once the infrastructure exists, it's going to get used and abused. Now, Ford isn't alone in this. This is an arms race. Smart Eye driver monitoring software is already in over 2 million cars globally. The EU's general safety regulation mandates drowsiness systems as standard equipment going forward. GM deployed biometric seat sensors and heart rate monitoring in production trucks.
Let's go!
Come on!
Due to elevated heart rate, high stress levels, and panic indicators, you're not fit to operate this vehicle.
What? There's a tornado!
Have you tried calming down?
Daryl, it's getting bigger!
Start the truck!
Let's begin a breathing exercise. Inhale. Exhale.
I'm not breathing right now!
Daryl, do something!
I'm trying!
Analyzing driver condition, I've determined you
I know what you've determined, but you're wrong!
I am never wrong.
Whose bright idea was this?
Your government's.
Granny, I have a feeling we're not in America anymore.
Everybody was arguing about whatever name dropped on this timeline this week. The government quietly secured the ability to turn off your car while you're driving it. And I'm not talking about a conspiracy theory. No, I'm talking about Section 24220 of the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. Yeah, it mandates that by 2027, every new passenger vehicle must advance impaired driving technology. Shit, it sounds great on paper. Stop drunk drivers. I'm all about that life. But the fine print tells me otherwise. It requires passive, continuous surveillance of the driver. So monitoring your eyes, your head, your movements, and your behavior. And it gives the car the authority to shut down the engine if the AI detects or decides you're not fit to drive. Even the National Highway Traffic Administration admitted to Congress that the tech is not ready. They said that 99.9% accuracy, it would still generate millions of false positives a year, meaning millions of people stranded on the side of the road because an algorithm made a mistake. But it gets worse. Where do you think that surveillance goes to? Well, if you think it goes to a privacy expert confirmed in a cloud type situation, you'd be correct. Experts have already made the fucking connection, realizing that automakers are already updating their terms of service to sell your behavioral data to insurance companies to generate you a fucking risk score. Some lawmakers try to stop it, actually. Representatives Thomas Massey introduced an amendment to defund the mandate. Reps John James co-sponsored a bill to kill it also. But in January of 2026, 57 Republicans joined 211 Democrats to vote it down. They voted to keep the kill switch mandate alive. The vote failed, 164 to 268. This is how the game is played. They flood the zone with noise while quietly building the architecture of control right in your fucking driveway. Stop looking at the smoke and start looking at the actual pulp.
Let me know how y'all feel about this in the comment section. Are you willing to go back to an old school car? Are you willing to go back to an old school phone? Are you willing to give up technology and live your life like how people did it in the early 1900s? Let me know in the comment section below.